Hell, you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your number one news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Marvel Studios The First 10 Years 6-inch Iron Man 3 action figure 3-pack featuring Pepper Potts, Hot Rod Iron Man, and Mandarin aka Trevor. Now this Marvel Legends set was originally going to be slated as a Toys R Us exclusive. It was then canceled because Toys R Us obviously went out of business and then picked up by Amazon. It is currently available on the Amazon website. Now originally this set was going to start shipping on September 15th, and then that date came and went, and Amazon changed the release date till sometime between October and November. However, at least like with mine, I ended up getting mine today. I pre-ordered it before the 15th, and so I got it today. So if you go on and pre-order it, then you may, it may show up much sooner than the release date that was listed on the website. Now this set comes packaged in the same style that we see with all the MCU figures. You've got the black box with the red highlights. Up at the top you've got the Marvel Studios logo and the Legends series logo. The figures are clearly displayed in the window box. Down below you've got the names of the characters. You've got a little Iron Man symbol there in the middle, and then you've got the Iron Man 3 movie logo off to the side. On one side of the packaging you've got that artwork from the movie, and when you put this together with other MCU packaging, it forms a collage of various images from the various movies. On the other side of the packaging we've got a brief bio for Iron Man 3, which was released back in 2013. And then on the back of the packaging we've got a brief bio for each of the characters in the set, as well as a look at the movie poster for Iron Man 3. Also, it tells us this is the fourth set in this MCU series. Alright, let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figures outside of the packaging along with the other contents. Now the only accessories that you get with this set are ones for the Pepper Potts figure. So you get this alternate right arm that has the Iron Man armor on. She put some of the armor on in the movie, and so that's what this is replicating. And then you also get a blast effect, a repulsor blast effect that you can plug into that arm. And so it just plugs in like that. And you can take it, basically what you do is you just pop the arm out. It pops in with a ball peg, kind of like a Build-A-Figure or something, and then you just pop this alternate arm in. Now one thing to note here is while the regular arms are single jointed, this alternate arm, as Dwight likes to point out whenever asked about double jointed female figures, that this Iron Man arm is double jointed. So they did give us the double joints there at the elbow. And I do like, the look of it. You've got the metallic red and the gold, so I think that looks pretty good. And then you've got some silver here where it's kind of coming over her arm. So overall I think the detailing with that arm is pretty good. Okay, now for the figures themselves, starting with the Pepper Potts figure, I think overall with the sculpting detail they've done a pretty good job with the head sculpt. It does look like Gwyneth Paltrow. Now I don't really like how you've got this dark color on her cheeks and then this wash in her hair, but I can't really fault the figure for that, because if you go back and you watch the end of Iron Man 3, that's how she looks, and that's what this figure is based on. So her cheeks actually had this discoloration in the movie. So again, even though I don't really like the way it looks on the figure, I can't fault it because it is movie accurate. Now for the rest of the body, I will say, since they went with that kind of beat up, worn and torn look from the end of the movie, the rest of the body does come off looking a little bit on the clean side. They maybe should have added some bruises or a little bit of dirt on the rest of the body as well. Now for the body, you've got good skin tone on the upper torso here. She's got the halter top, and you've got some sculpting detail with the line work. And then here on the back, you get a little bit of a paint blemish where some black has gotten on the skin tone. Same down here at the waist section. She's got, looks like some pockets sculpted there on her butt. And then she's just got the black pants. Her button here is undone, which I think again is movie accurate. You do have a little bit, again, a paint blemish where some of the skin tone has gotten on the black here at the waistline. And then for the feet, she's not wearing any shoes. I don't really like how this looks here with the feet. You've got the joints which stand out, but that's okay because it does give her the articulation. But you also have a darker shade of skin tone here on the lower leg than with the feet, so that makes that stand out even more. It's a minor complaint. Again, she wasn't wearing shoes at the end of the movie, so I can't really complain too much. But with the joints and the different color of skin tone between the leg and the foot, it does kind of stand out there with the ankles. Overall, though, like I said, if you like the way she looked at the end of Iron Man 3, I think this is a pretty fair representation of that. Now, for articulation, she can turn her head to the left and to the right. Even with the long hair, she can look down really good. She does have a ball hinge joint. She really can't look back, though, and you really don't get a whole lot in the way of head pivot. The arms, with the regular arms, you can put the arm out good. You've got good rotation. You don't have a bicep swivel. You've got a rotation at the elbow, and you've got those single hinge arms, and then you've got rotation at the wrist, and you have hinges on the hand, so up and down movement. She has a midsection there, so she can rotate and she can pivot a little bit, but she does not have really any kind of ab crunch. She does not have a waist swivel. With the legs, she can do the splits good. She can get her leg forward good, and she can do her leg out and back. She does have a thigh swivel. She has a double jointed knee, and then with those feet you have the hinges, so you have the up and down movement, and she does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. And then real quick, with the articulation on this alternate arm for Pepper, she does have a bicep swivel up high. She has the double jointed elbow, as I mentioned before, but she does not have any wrist articulation with this alternate hand. So you are kind of stuck in that one firing position with this hand, and it's actually kind of hard to get the hand posed so it looks like it's firing the repulsor blast straight ahead. So that is a little bit annoying. Next up, we have the Hot Rod armor. So this is a repaint of the War Machine, one of the older War Machine figures that we've gotten, and we've seen them do that before. This one that was blue and orange, I forget the name of this armor, but it was another armor that was supposed to have appeared in Iron Man 3, and this one, I think it was Disco, I think they called this one the Disco armor if I remember correctly, and this one was painted, that dark blue and purple, but it's the same mold, it's that same War Machine mold. So I don't recall the Hot Rod armor enough to know if this was, as far as like how the sculpting looks is accurate, if this is the correct armor they should have repainted. I don't honestly remember, but I still think it looks pretty good. The dark grays and silvers of the War Machine mixed in with the red, and then you've got the flames here on the bottom of the legs, which is why they call it the Hot Rod armor, and I think that looks pretty good. I like this metallic red that they use. So overall, the paint detail on this figure is pretty good. But for the sculpt, it's just, again, a repaint of the War Machine, so nothing really new. And as far as articulation, it is the same as War Machine. You can turn the head to the left and to the right. He can look down about that much, and he can look up about that much. You get the shoulder pads, which are articulated, and you can get the arm out pretty good. You can rotate the arms all the way around, but you do want to be careful of the shoulder pads. You've got a bicep swivel, you've got the double jointed elbow, you've got rotation with the hands, and you've got some up and down movement there. And then you've got a midsection joint, so you get rotation there. You get a little bit of pivot to left and right, and you get a little bit of back and forth, more back than forward movement with this one, but you really don't have much in the way of actual ab crunch. And then no waist swivel with the legs. You can do the splits that much. You can get the leg forward good, and you can do the leg back. You do have a thigh swivel. You get the double jointed knees, so good bending there at the knee. And then with the feet, you get some up and down movement, and you get a little bit of ankle pivot, but not too much, a little bit of rotation. But because that armor piece comes down over the feet, it does limit that movement to some degree. And then 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, and then finally we have the Mandarin, aka Trevor. And this is probably the best figure in the set. Now I remember back when Iron Man 3 came out, how pissed off people were, how they handled the Mandarin character. They'd done such a good build-up in the first 2 Iron Man movies, and then they essentially did this guy who was nothing more than an actor. So he definitely looks the part of Mandarin. I thought they did a good job with that. So even if, in the movies he didn't end up being the real Mandarin, you can always pretend he is in your action figure collection. And like I said, I think this is probably the best figure in the set. It definitely looks very much like the character from the movie. You got pretty solid paint applications. Really the only problem I have is with the hair. You can see it looks like a little bit of the brown scratched off, so it looks like he's got a bald spot there. He's got the bun there on the back, and he's got the long beard, so I think that looks good. Definitely looks like the actor for the most part. I have a little bit of bleeding on the skin tone here, but not a major deal. He's wearing the coat. The coat is removable. The sleeves are not, though. They're sculpted, and the coat is made with that kind of rubber material. You've got the hood piece that's sculpted. You can't put the hood up or anything, but you know, it looks good. You've got that metallic green that they used on that, and as well as the arms, and that matches up nicely between the coat and the arms. That looks good. He's got the rings, not a whole lot of detail in the rings, but you know, he does have the rings that are sculpted on his fingers there. And then he's got the green shirt underneath and the black shirt under that, and that's all sculpted. And then he's got the camo pants and everything. This belt piece is a separate piece on the figure, and then he's got the boots. And articulation on the Mandarin, you can turn the head to the left and to the right. It is on a ball hinge joint, but because he has that big beard, he really can't look forward very much. He can look up good though. He can look really high up. You can basically look straight up, so good movement there. And then you get a little bit of pivot with this one. With the arms, you can get the arm out good. He's got good rotation even with the coat. He does not have a bicep swivel, only has a single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow that much, and you get the rotation at the elbow. And then you have rotation with the hands, and I think there are hinges on there, maybe not. The sleeves come over the hands, so even if there were hinges, it would really kind of limit that. So I would say basically not much in the way of up and down movement with the hands on this one. He does not have an ab crunch, he just has a waist swivel, so he can rotate there. He has no pivot there at the waist. And then with the legs, he can do the splits about that much. You can get the leg forward about that much. He does have a thigh swivel. He's got a double jointed knee, so good bending there at the knee. And then does not have a boot cuff swivel, just has hinges on the feet, so up and down movement. And he does have ankle pivot and 2 peg holes on the bottom of the feet. Okay, and just for a couple comparisons, here's the Hot Rod Iron Man along with the Iron Man 3 armor, and then that Disco armor, as well as the War Machine that these two figures are repaints of. Okay, and here's a comparison of the Trevor figure, the Pepper Potts figure, and my Tony Stark figure. And you can see that Pepper is actually taller than Tony and almost the same height as Mandarin, though Mandarin is a bit taller. And while looking at these three figures together, I gotta say with the Pepper, even though again this is pretty accurate to how she appears at the end of the movie, and I know they were able to include the alternate Iron Man arm with it because of that, I still probably would have personally rather had just a normal looking Pepper Potts so that it could go along with my Tony Stark figure. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you like this version, or would you have rather seen a regular Pepper Potts? Okay, so that's my review. So overall, I don't think this is a bad set. Again, with the Pepper Potts, I think it's pretty movie accurate, but I would have rather personally had just a normal looking Pepper Potts. The Hot Rod Iron Man I think looks decent, but you know, I'm not terribly excited for it either. I could certainly live without this version of the Iron Man armor, and I don't know how accurate it actually is to the armor in the movie, being it's just a repaint of the War Machine. Again, I think the best figure in this set is the Trevor figure, even though I didn't really like the Trevor character in the movie. You know, if you do want just a Mandarin for your MCU, I think this will work nicely, and definitely I think it's the best looking figure of the three. Now this set is an Amazon exclusive here in the United States, and it is available on their website. I don't know if it's actually listed as available or still for pre-order, but like I said, I got mine. I pre-ordered mine right before September 15th, and I got mine today. So if you go on and order it, you'll probably get it pretty soon. We'll have a full image gallery up at marvelousnews.com. There'll be a link in the video description below. As always, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel by hitting that button down below. You should also hit the bell notification so you're alerted every time I upload a new video. And of course, you can also follow me on my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts. I have links to all those in the video description as well. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you later.